Hey everyone! Today I'm going to work on a different take on a Pennywise outfit. I've done a quick drawing and played around with some pencil crayons I've owned for longer than I care to admit. I'm not much of a drawer, but I wanted to show you guys what I was thinking. Thank goodness I sew, I guess. I want to do a classic collar, some bloomers, and a corset-like top. I'm going to be pairing it with similar striped sleeves and leggings to the Monster High version of the doll, and there will be lots of ruffles incorporated too. I have this gray fabric for the leggings and a gray satin fabric for the bloomers and the corset. I also have this gray organza that I want to use for the ruffles on the bloomers, the sleeves, and the leggings. I have these red trims that I pulled from my stash. Let's get sewing. The gray satin isn't super shiny, but it has a nice sheen to it, which I like. I think it'll look really cool, especially when I make the bloomers because of the shape of them. Here are the bloomers so far. I'm going to be folding over the top hem and making a channel at the top for the elastic. I'm actually going to be doing the same thing for the bottom so that I can put elastic on the legs as well, so they'll get that gathered look. I want them nice and puffy. I'm making the channel for the elastic in the legs a little higher up so that there's a bit of a ruffle at the bottom. You'll see what I mean when I'm done. Since I'm kind of playing with this look as I go, I want to have added ruffle details just in case. So I know I've shown this in other videos, but I'm going to show it again. So I use a small safety pin and I put it through the end of the elastic. Not too close to the end because it'll tear through, just back a little bit. The safety pin makes it super easy to hold on to and pull the elastic through the channel. And then when you get the elastic close to the first end, the one you went through, make sure you pin it or sew it into place so it doesn't come all the way through on you. And definitely sew or pin it at the far end so you don't lose it there either. This is the beginning of the bloomers. I have them nice and puffed up. I'm going to be layering the organza ruffles over top, but I'm not going to sew through the elastic or anything. I still want the legs to have stretch. I love the look of them so far and I have ideas on how I want to finish them. Here's the corset top. I wanted a V shape at the front, similar to the Monster High version because I like the way the pom-pom trim looks there, and I have something similar I want to use. But I also wanted them to layer over the bloomers a bit on the hip. So a little bit of a flare kind of idea. I want to add the ruffled layer that will be going at the top of the bust and the tiny pom-pom trim at the bottom. I also want to add a belted section and the bigger pom-poms. You can't do this outfit without at least having the pom-poms down the center. Have you watched Welcome to Derry yet? You should. If not, definitely give it a watch. I liked the first season, so I'm curious where season 2 is going to take us. Man, that first episode, well, you just really have to watch it, and then you'll know what I mean. This belt I'm working on has a wider satin and a slightly darker shimmer red ribbon down the center. I wanted the wider ribbon at the back underneath so that I had something more substantial to sew the white and red swirl trim to. It's much easier to keep a straight line this way. Trust me, I already tried it without and it's just better. I have some of the detailing done on the corset now. The pop of red is so good. I did a small layer of red velvet ribbon over the tiny pom-pom trim as well, and it finished it off really, really well. Here are the organza ruffles for the bottom of the bloomers. I'm going to be doing 2 layers of these on each leg. I know they're going to go over the ruffles that I actually had sewn into the bloomers, but that's okay with me. I just wanted a bigger ruffle at the bottom. And it will still look finished from underneath too. For those of you who haven't seen how to ruffle yet, or gather, I just used the longest length stitch that my machine has, but I didn't go back on my stitches and lock them at the end. So now I'm going to grab one of the threads at this end and gather the organza to make the ruffle. Super easy, super quick, and you can do this by hand as well. Now I'm actually going to attach the 2 layers of ruffles. I'm going to be hand sewing because I want to make sure that I'm not stitching through the elastic. I'm just kind of stitching into the top layer of the fabric. So as you can see, I've put the upper ruffle on the corset, and they're going to go over her shoulders and over the bust. And I'm going to be putting the big pom-poms on as well. I've decided I want to add more red to the bloomers. They needed a little something to tie everything together. So the tiny pom-pom trim is going to fit nicely under the draping and still have a peak of red. Let's see how this goes. I have to work on the leggings and the arm sleeves. I have this fabric that I want to use because it actually has a little bit of stretch. I want them to be fitted as much as I can. I also have created the stripes using my Cricut machine out of silver iron-on vinyl. It will give the stripes a subtle shine. If you don't have a Cricut machine, you can still use the iron-on. You'll just have to cut the stripes by hand. It'll take more time, but it is possible. And you can also use a home iron to adhere the vinyl. Here you can see there's some stretch to it. I'm going to be hemming these and adding the trim and the ruffles after. I love this little mini pom-pom trim. It's so easy to work with too. Here's one of the leggings. I'm going to be adding more of the red and white trim to these just to pull it all together. And maybe some beads from this drapery trim, kind of like a blood drop effect. So I'm sewing the large bead on and then a tiny one after, and then I'll be wrapping the thread around the tiny bead and back through the large one. That's how you can sew them on without having them drop right back off the thread. It's another one of those scenarios where you can ask me how I know. All right, I have the bloomers all set with their red trim and their ruffles. I have the corset ready to go over the top. The arm sleeves and the leggings are also done. I also made these shoes and added dark red pom-poms to them for the clown look that matches the ones on the corset. Now we just have to dress our lady and get her ready for the show.